There are a variety of factors in this. Market maturity. 100G prices are already extremely competitive on a number of these routes, like the transatlantic, the transpacific. But really, it is those delayed new network projects and upgrades to existing systems that have limited supply and limited competitive price pressure on a number of these routes. And before I do leave this slide, somewhat surprisingly is that London, New York, where price erosion has kept pace a little bit with historical trends. We have seen a number of new systems going in the Atlantic, some upgrades to existing networks that may have bolstered supply and competition there. But across most routes, a dramatic slowdown in what we've seen in terms of price erosion. And this slide just takes a deeper dive into two regions that have been especially impacted by supply constraints, routes within Asia and those across the Pacific. Here we've mapped out our 100G prices in those dark blue columns and our CAGR price decline over the past 3 years in those red dots. And aside from London, New York, our comparison all the way to the left, you can see those CAGR price declines are in single digits across almost all of those routes. They averaged about just 7% price erosion over the past 3 years. And that's really perpetuated some price differences, particularly on the Trans-Pacific route. Looking all the way to the right of this figure, that Hong Kong LA price and LA Singapore, they're still almost twice the price of LA Tokyo, and that's been pretty consistent over the past 3 years. Now, there are a number of planned systems going in on that LA Singapore route in particular, that when that new supply hits the market, we're likely to see some of these differences compress. But for now, they've been pretty maintained. And it's not just in the Trans-Pacific market, but globally as well. Those more moderate rates of price erosion have helped to maintain global price differences. Here we've mapped out our 100G lease prices relative to London, New York. London, New York being that thin pink line there at the bottom. And as you can see, a big range in pricing still. London, Singapore, about 4.5 times the price of London, New York. LA, Tokyo, about 3.2 times the price in 2022. That's not to say there hasn't been some convergence over time. If you take a look at Miami, Sao Paulo, that red line right there, you can see it was almost 7 times the price of London, New York in 2017. And that's down to just 3.5 times the price today. That we don't ever expect to see a universal price due to differences in underlying demand, the costs of those systems, but generally we expect to see some convergence. And if you look from 2020 to 2022, when we started to see these supply chain issues, more moderate rates of price erosion, those differences really have been sustained or even amplified on some of these key global routes.